What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Look at this nice and beautiful question on the board that we're going to be solving. And the question says, find the value of x for which x to the 8th minus x squared all over x to the 4th minus x squared is equal to 9. Now notice that from the numerator, x squared is common. So that means x to the 8 is the same as x to the 2 plus 6. Because 2 plus 6 is 8 minus x squared all over. Now the denominator, you notice that x squared is also common. So that means x to the 4th is same as x to the 2 plus 2. Now minus x squared. And this is equal to 9. Well, x to the 2 plus 6 is same as x squared times x to the 6 minus x squared all over. Now, the denominator, we're going to be doing the same thing. X to the 2 plus 2 is same as x squared times x squared minus x squared. And this is equal to 9. Now notice that x squared is common. So our next step will be for us to factor out x squared. So factor out x squared. Now let's divide. X squared times x to the 6 divided by x squared. I'm going to be having x to the 6. So this is x to the 6 minus. Now x squared divided by x squared. That's 1 all over. Now from the denominator, you notice that x squared is also common. So we factor out x squared. Now let's divide. X squared times x squared divided by x squared. I'm going to be having x squared minus. Now x squared divided by x squared is 1. And this is equal to 9. Now notice that x squared can cancel off x squared, leaving behind x to the 6 minus 1 all over x squared minus 1 to be equal to 9. Now notice that x to the 6 is same as x squared raised to the 3, because from indices, powers multiply. So 2 times 3 is 6 minus 1 all over. Now the denominator, we have x squared minus 1. And this is equal to 9. Now notice that 1 is same as 1 cube. So from the numerator, we have difference of 2 cubes. Let's go ahead and apply the property of difference of 2 cubes on the next slide. Well, the property of difference of 2 cubes is, for example, when I have a cube minus b cube, which is difference of 2 cubes, this is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. Now comparing, you see that a is in the form of x squared and b is in the form of 1. Now let's write this expression on the numerator like this. So we have a minus b. So a is x squared minus b is 1, times a squared, a is x squared, that's I'm going to be squaring this since x squared is representing our a, plus ab, so plus a times b, which is x squared times 1, which gives back x squared, plus b squared, that's 1 squared, which is 1, all over the denominator, we have x squared minus 1, and this is equal to 9. Now notice that x squared minus 1 can cancel off x squared minus 1, so that we have x squared all raised to the 2 plus x squared plus 1 to be equal to 9. Our next step will be for us to move 9 to the left-hand side, so that we have x squared raised to the 2 plus x squared plus 1. As 9 crosses to the left, it becomes minus 9. And this is equal to 0. So this simplifies into x squared raised to the 2 plus x squared. Now 1 minus 9 is negative 8. And this is equal to 0. So we have a quadratic equation in terms of x squared. So we can just say let x squared be equal to t. So wherever we see x squared, we're going to be putting t there. So this becomes t squared plus t, and then minus 8 equal to 0. Now you notice that this quadratic equation cannot be factorized. So we're going to be applying the quadratic formula to solve this. Let's do that on the next slide. So using the quadratic formula, from here, the coefficient of t squared, which is our a, is 1. The coefficient of t, which is our b, is 1. Then the constant term is negative 8. So the quadratic formula, we're looking for t is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So now let's substitute. So this is t equal to negative b. Negative b is 1 plus or minus the square root of b squared, that's 1 squared, minus 4ac. 4 times a is 1, times c is negative 8, all over 2a, that's 2 times 1. So this simplifies into t equal to negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 squared is 1, then negative 4 times 1 times negative 8, that's plus 32, all over 2 times 1 is 2. So t is equal to negative 1 plus or minus the square root of 1 plus 32 is 33, all over 2. So we have two values for t here. We have t to be equal to negative 1, going with the plus first, plus the square root of 33, all over 2, or t is equal to negative 1. Now let's go with the negative root 33 all over 2. Now let's recall. Remember, we're looking for the values of x. Let's recall that we said x squared is equal to t, right? Cool. Now for the first case, which is using this case, we have x squared to be equal to, the value of t here is negative 1 plus the square root of 33 all over 2. Now to get x, I'm going to be taking the square root of both sides. So taking the square root of the left, and I also take the square root of the right, which leaves plus or minus square root of -1 plus root 33 all over 2. Now notice that square root can cancel off square, leaving behind x to be equal to plus or minus the square root of -1 plus root 33 all over 2. So we have two values of x from here. Now from this other case, we're still recalling that x squared is equal to t. So x squared is equal to, this time a value of our t is -1 negative root 33 all over 2. Now notice that the left hand side is a square, which is a perfect square, which means it is always positive. But the right hand side, from what we see here, -1 negative root 33 over 2 is negative. So here cannot be positive and here be negative. So this is not possible. So we're going to be rejecting this answer. So we are only left with two solutions for x. Well, feel free to share your ideas in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video and have learned something from this video, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss my upcoming videos. And like I always say, until next time, take care.